Thank you.
My name is Todd Krouner. I am a plaintiff's medical malpractice attorney from Chappaqua, New York. I am here at my own expense today. I represent victims of LASIK and related eye malpractice on a national basis. Most of my cases involve high-volume LASIK facilities that fail to screen properly for keratoconus or other contraindications to surgery. I am not here to criticize the safety of LASIK. I am not here to criticize ophthalmologists generally or LASIK surgeons in particular. I am here to encourage the FDA to do whatever it can to prevent the conversion of eyes to commodities by doing four things. First, encouraging the effective and safe training of LASIK surgeons. Second, encouraging the reporting of adverse outcomes by the industry. Third, commissioning an independent study of LASIK patient satisfaction. And fourth, reporting on its findings and making its data available on a timely basis. The LASIK industry does not police itself effectively. Many doctors have completed rigorous training with cornea fellowships. However, many LASIK surgeons have not. The surgery itself is not that complex. However, the screening process can be. More time, skill, and care need to be invested to assure that unsuitable LASIK candidates are screened out. The LASIK industry underreports adverse outcomes. Even doctors with a duty to report have failed to do so. Voluntary reporting should be encouraged. Mandatory reporting failures should be enforced with meaningful sanctions. If the LASIK community really believes that patient satisfaction runs at upwards of 95%, then I suggest it should welcome with open arms an independent study to prove this. Patient satisfaction must be measured by both qualitative and quantitative measures. It is not enough to say the patient has good visual acuity. My client, Mark Schiffer, had good visual acuity. He had poor visual quality. When his eye doctor saw this eye trace result and focus on the top right quadrant where there's an E, which depicted how the patient saw an E on the eye chart, the doctor scheduled his corneal transplant. When Roz Martinez in Virginia Beach complained of poor visual quality, her optometrist used this NIDEC technology to demonstrate how poor her vision was, even though her LASIK surgeon boasted of 20/30 corrected visual acuity and 20/40 uncorrected visual acuity. In March 2008, in a biographical story in the New York Times, Abby Ellen described her own LASIK surgery regret. She described her doctor's false measure of success based solely on her good visual acuity. However, it is only half of one's vision. Visual quality comprises the other half. For an impeccably credentialed LASIK surgeon to say the surgery was successful because the patient has good visual acuity is, frankly, dishonest. Yet I hear it often. Of the homemaker from West Virginia who took her cat's medication while the cat took her thyroid medication for 3 days due to blurred vision. Of the surgical assistant in Virginia Beach who cut the patient instead of the surgical thread due to poor contrast sensitivity and impaired depth perception. And of the executive in New Jersey whose son asks, "Daddy, why don't you play with me anymore?" due to photosensitivity and irritation from the elements including wind, dust, and sand. If just 1% of LASIK patients have a bad outcome, depending on one's numbers, that may mean upwards of 10,000 patients per year will suffer potentially serious visual disability. It is reported that the overwhelming majority of such cases are avoidable or, in my view, constitute presumptive evidence of medical malpractice. Studies indicate that these cases are a result of either the doctor's failure to screen properly or missing warning signs such as keratoconus, or the surgeon cutting the cornea too thin, giving rise to post-LASIK ectasia. The likelihood of serious visual disability in this patient population is high. As visual learners, 85% of what we perceive comes through our eyes. Consequently, the likelihood of clinical depression in this visually disabled population is high. The incidence of suicide in this population, while exceedingly rare, is not hard to fathom. I look forward to coming back to speaking on behalf of Amanda Campbell. Thank you.
Thank you.